Ladies and gentlemen, hello, good morning, good night. Welcome to my Sengoku Rance review. Um, my name's Aiden. We do a lot of rant stuff in this channel and other weeb shit. Um, and we just finished Sengoku Rance, the main route, so I thought I'd talk about it a bit. It's also interesting to note that this was the first Rance game I've played before I played all the stuff on the channel, and actually my very first Rance video was a Sengoku Rance review, so you can check that out. That's the very first video on the playlist, or you can just search it on the channel. So honestly, like, you can probably just refer to that because I'd probably like go over like more technical stuff. To be honest, this is just me like spitballing a bit more, just because I guess it's more like, okay, now that you've played a lot more other of the older games of Rance, how does Sengoku hold up? Is it still the GOAT? It's a very good question. I would say it's probably like the cleanest game for sure, like gameplay wise. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like well, you can only really compare it to Kachiko, I guess, if you want to like make a fair comparison, because obviously, like, just this style of game's gonna have like more replayability and more optimization than well, I was trying to say than a JRPG, but I guess technically that's not always the case. But for the Rance series, definitely. Like, yes, you can replay the RPG games, and I'm sure people do, and I'm sure there is like some differences you can make. Like, like, I don't know, what 5D comes to mind. I'm sure you can play that like actually like a lot of different ways, but I mean, like, come on, it doesn't really compare to like all the things you can do you can do in Sengoku. Like, obviously we just did the tip of the iceberg, the main route. But then there's like the 4 other story routes, free for all, play as any country, kill the monkey route. There's like so much. It's definitely the game you get the most bang for your buck. I don't even know how much it costs. I think it's like $25 Canadian or something in that ball range. Ballpark. It's definitely like not more than that, and you can definitely like probably get like at least 80 hours out of it if you wanted to do like all the content, or at least like all the main routes. Maybe that's highballing a bit, but yeah, I think gameplay wise, definitely the best of like, it's just really clean. Now obviously if you're more of a JRPG enjoyer, then maybe it's not your favorite gameplay wise, but I think in general it's probably the best made game. I mean, I do like Kachiko too. I think Kachiko, the story was a bit more compelling, and I actually think it was a little harder. I think if we're talking like pure gameplay, what I was most surprised about returning to Sengoku was how easy it felt in the end game. And to be fair, there were still some hiccups here and there, especially with the monster generals, but like it felt like pretty easy. Maybe I mean, obviously, since this isn't my first time playing, even though it's been a couple years, even though we did do some Darkness Hero Rants last year, so you can count that as training, I guess. Like, I was very surprised. I have very vivid memories of spending like 3 hours on the Xavier fights, just doing over and over again. And in this playthrough, we beat the final boss in one run, and we didn't even use Kenshin, bro. She was just chilling in the back lines. So, and even like the demon like invasion, I guess I mean, obviously, again, I'm not a new player, so it was just we just prepared well. I want to say I played immaculately, but if you watch the playthrough, that's not true. There's definitely a lot of fuck ups. But no, I was surprised how easy it felt. Like, I didn't really feel like in trouble at any time. Which, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing. And I feel like most people who like told me about it, it's like, oh yeah, our first playthrough, it fucks you up. So it's just veteran things, but I don't know. I wish there was like a little more bite with the monster invasion. I guess if you were slow to the uptake, it probably would have hurt a lot more. But yeah, we just never really felt in trouble, and it's more like, okay, we're in a good position. It's the end game. Let's just slowly take it over. Where other strategy games that do like an end game climax event, it's usually like a bit more scary. Especially, like, I just refer to Cheeto when the demons attack, bro, and they just hit land after land, and you really can't do much because some of it's gimmicky, and sometimes it's just really hard. Like, they just, like, it's like 5 different demons just come at you through the wall, and you're like, oh, fuck, what do I do, man? But yeah, that's just something. I just, like, other... So, sorry, I then spitballing at 2 a.m. classic review. So like the good parts of the game, I think there's a lot of customization. Like we rushed the west side, which is like objectively worse, and it was still really fun just trying to rush Mori. So there's a lot of, obviously, like there's a lot of options on how you want to counter, and then more early to mid game stuff, because late game it's just win the objective. So I actually find the early and mid game more challenging and enjoyable a bit. But yeah, lots of customization on how you want to counter and who do you want to run, because obviously, you know, it kind of ties together, like where do you want to counter if you want to get these key units, and you know, you can find some sneaky like little no-name units that turn out to be pretty good, like Cucumber Ando. That guy was here for like the full playthrough. Never, I mean, I assume he's just a random dude who likes cucumbers. Bro, I'm pretty sure, I don't remember if it was him or Aid Girl, but he might have been there for the final Xavier fight. Just, I mean, he was a solid unit, just a speed mage that just spammed shield. He was based. But yeah, you know, really customizable armies or units. And then, you know, to even top that off, you can build them in different ways, because, you know, you can, sometimes you want to go full assassin on a ninja, or maybe you want to do a dungeon scout. Just the sheer amount of it, of choices you can make, and customization to your army and route, I think is just really fun. And that's why, also, we are going to play some more Sengoku, even though I'm going to move to a different game for the recordings. Eventually on stream, we'll do some more of the campaign, which is really fun. I guess, you know, I think everyone says this is a weaker part, but like dungeon battles, honestly, I kind of enjoyed them a little more than when I first played. But they were really easy, besides that one dungeon. There's like one dungeon that we just didn't face, because obviously it was made for endgame. But the dungeons felt super easy, and I guess, again, when you know what you're doing, it's a lot easier, but I wish there was like a bit more monster variety, a bit harder on the dungeons. Maybe, like, I don't know about the Oni Bones, man. They should have like mixed it up more, gave more books and stuff. But this is just small stuff. And of course, you know, this is for all Rance games. No real tutorial. Gotta work on the walkthrough, which isn't a problem for me. Not walkthrough, I mean. The wiki is what I wanted to say. But if you're like a new player, like it might be hard for you. But it's an old game, but like it's, I don't know. Put a damn tutorial in your games. Story-wise, I guess we should talk about the story. It's a classic Rance game. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've definitely noticed that a lot of the Rance titles is just country is in peril and may be destroyed. Rance comes and saves the day. That's a lot of the games. Rance 3, Rance 6, Rance 7 this game, Rance 9 I assume for Hellman. Rance 10 save the world, Kichito save the world. It's a lot of that, and I think they do a pretty good job at, like, obviously there's similarities because it is just the same plot line, but I think they do a good job. Like, obviously just doing that plot line means, hey, we're introducing a new country pretty easily, here's the culture, here's what's happening, and I think for Sengoku, I think it's up there. I think I enjoyed it more than 3's story a bit. I think Sitz was still probably the best story-wise for country saving. Sitz was insane. Sitz, like, I mean, Aiden Xavier was gonna crash the bridge and sink Nippon. Good point. But and that is intense. But maybe it's just the scale of Nippon, just because it's like so small compared to every other country, and just the pacing of the game, how fast it was. I think it was partly my fault because I was way too close to the enemy base when all the events started, so I think I kind of like hyper accelerated the events, but it's like it just doesn't punch enough or punch hard enough than like a JRPG that kind of like forces you to go hours and hours. Like the pacing, I think it's the pacing, because like I don't like, you know, Rance Sits, some people say it's a slog, and it kind of is, but it does go kind of crazy, especially when some monster army happens and you have the whole migration wave, and it goes crazy. But I think the story's good. I think it's, again, kind of a standard Rance plot with some really good moments. Obviously, since it's a Conquer game, your playthrough could be different. It depends on what country you go. But for the main story, I think obviously I am a huge Sil fan. Sil getting frozen hurts my heart. I didn't cry, but I was feeling really sad. It didn't really come through in the video because I was like masking it, but I'm like, no, Sil, no. And we didn't do it in this playthrough because it was too sad, but there's a bad ending where, like, I think that's when you attack Xavier, like the mid-boss fight, without any prep, and then like they like basically ganked Rance and Sil, and they accidentally snapped Sil's neck when she was held as a hostage, and you like hear the crack. And I remember like when I first played it, I was like, what the fuck? I felt so bad. Because it is interesting if you're like a new player, because a lot of people recommend this game as their first Rance game, and again, I can see why, because it's arguably the best gameplay wise. But like even like as a new player, I was like, yo, Sil's the best girl, even though, you know, pink afro, puffy girl, probably not my favorite type of anime girl, but like their chemistry is so funny. Like I've never seen like a chemistry like master slave, and he's non-ironically abusive, but for some reason it's charming and she loves it, and there's like some real chemistry you feel with Rance compared to like some of the other girls, which there are good ones, you know. I know the Sil topic is a very debated thing. Some people hate her, some people love her. I'm a lover, but I was gonna say I respect your opinion, but I don't, motherfucker. If you hate her, but no, just like you know, this character you've been through the whole time gets iced off, and I know the ice thing. Like I assume that's what Quest is about, trying to free Sil. And then they hit you with like a really good line from Nobunaga, like in the flashback. It's like, oh, you take for granted things as you like live your daily life, but it's too late to truly value them once it's gone. And then when Rance is like, oh, no, I'm worried too much, everything's gonna be okay, and it's not, and she stays frozen at the end. It's honestly like great. not for so, but great storytelling, great emotional roller coasters. That's what really like hit me hard. Obviously there's other hard-hitting moments. I think Nobunaga was a really cool character, and his whole story with Ko, and like when Ko first dons her battle armor with the freaking Mars theme, you know, usually used for Kenshin for her badass moment, and it was like Ko's like, oh, I'm fucking ready to brawl. I'm going on the front lines too. Don't put me in the archer unit. I'm going front lines. It's like, oh, shit's so cool. So yeah, there's obviously a lot of cool moments. I mean, you know, it's Rance. They always have cool moments, but it is interesting to see like using like a really emotional moment like Sil's freezing, and some cool moments from characters that aren't Rance. I really feels good. And obviously it's funny. Rance games are always funny. Well, I guess it's subjective, but I don't know. If you're a Rance enjoyer, you'd probably find it the game's funny. It's a weird sexual harasser / abuser Riz. But it's good. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. That's all I have to say. You can also check out the first review. I don't even remember what I said about that. I probably talked about it more, but yeah, I just wanted to re-talk about it. You know, if you want me to say, if you have any specific questions, you can always leave it in the comments. But yeah, great game. Glad to revisit it. Had a great time with my stuffed West Rush campaign. I think we did pretty good. Some really intense moments, especially like when I captured Kenshin's territory and beat that place one turn before it would have gotten yoinked by Xavier. That shit was pretty cool. Like a lot of good moments there. So it's always a treat coming back to this. And yeah, great game. I give it my seal of approval. So thank you for checking out the video. If you haven't seen the playthrough, check the big Rance playthrough. We got Rance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Kichiko. I messed it up. 6, 7. We're going through all the games, baby. And yeah, I will see you on whatever next is Rance. We're doing a poll. I don't know if the poll video came out before or after this, but yeah, poll to decide if we go right to 8 or we double back to the remake of 1 and 2, because it's been suggested to me. But yeah, thanks for watching. And game on, gamers, or I don't know, I was gonna make a bad joke. Yeah, later.